I want
don't
to talk
make
about
those
Aiden
decisions.
Fisher.
Yeah,
I
no,
want to
talk about
Aiden
Fisher. Yeah.
Fisher. They asked Aiden about Cignetti taking down the picks from 2024, and he said, yeah, the focus is completely on 2025. So I thought that was funny that they brought that back up. He also said he took the playoff stickers off of everything, off his helmets, his water bottles, and he doesn't want to be reminded of that. It's just full-blown focus forward.
100%.
It's a leader.
Hope the whole team's doing it.
They asked him about lessons, and he said the goal is to move forward, and they're working towards a ring. Which he was Kamara talked about a ring, Surratt talked about a ring, Fisher talked about a ring, Cignetti talked about a championship. They're not shying away from these conversations. These are the conversations A, they want to be in, and B, they're forcing themselves into. So it's I get used to it. They asked him about the mindset of the team. He said, and this is something he's repeated multiple times, that early in camp, maybe there were some new guys, some freshmen, some transfers that weren't necessarily bought in. Maybe they thought they were bigger than the program. He said now they're in a really good place. That has been taken care of throughout the spring. They're in a really good place moving into fall camp. Talked about confidence. He said that will not be a problem for this program moving forward.
Never is.
Never is. Talked
never
about
has
Brian.
Been, never will.
Talked about Bryant Haynes saying ultimately Haynes wanted to be at Indiana with Cignetti, and he said the fact that very similar to what Kamara said is that the fact that the staff has been together for so long speaks volumes of Cignetti.
100%. I think that's already been said today.
Yep. They asked him about the stadium experience. He said it was a surreal feeling. They asked him if he liked the term new versus old Indiana. He said not necessarily, but he finds himself using it a lot. So I guess he has to like it. But it's something that I found myself transitioning away from as the year went on. I was calling it the new Indiana, especially early in the year. And this is something the class of 2025 kind of spearheaded. Hollywood Bell being one of those guys, Kyler Garcia being one of those guys, hyping up that the atmosphere had completely changed. But after you spend a year and it's now Curt Cignetti's Indiana football, to call it the new Indiana feels almost like it's exactly. This is Indiana football. It's Curt Cignetti's Indiana football, and it's fast, physical, relentless from here on out. So I feel myself having that same feelings towards the phrase that Fisher does. So it's kind of funny to hear him articulate that.
Wait, hold on. I'm pulling up a quote. Hold on.
It's gonna be brutal for them.
I can be more smooth with this, but one play at a time, 6 seconds of play. Every play has a life and history of its own. Fast, physical, relentless. 11 guys doing their jobs. Smart, disciplined, poised. Not affected by success or failure. On to the next play. Never satisfied. That's the team, and they're gonna execute that. That's what they were last year. They're gonna be that this year, and they're more talented. And then people are trying to tell me that we're not going to be as good, and I just find that hard to believe. It's not going to drop off. We're not going anywhere. Something will have to severely go wrong for this team to not win 9 games. Straight up.
They asked Aiden Fisher about a Cignetti story. He said his favorite was there's a glass ball and a rubber ball, and it's about resilience and bouncing back. If you drop one, the glass ball shatters, but the rubber ball bounces back. So he said that was his favorite one. That's one he's taken with him. And they asked him kind of what has led to this higher level of confidence for this Indiana football team. And he said, we've competed with the best. We've been on the field with the best, talking about Ohio State, talking about Notre Dame, been in those tough road environments. And he said, if your confidence isn't high, you're playing for the wrong program.
Facts. I mean, I don't think you can play for Indiana without, believing in yourself, in the sense that, believing in yourself is, executing practices at a high level, doing everything right. So all that goes into play when you want to join the Indiana football program, which not everyone gets to do. They don't take everyone. They don't take you just because you're a four-star. They've turned down guys like that. Our top player from the first Cignetti class, I guess sort of his first class, the top rated player ended up in the portal. He was the only guy from that class to leave. And it just speaks volumes. I'm not going to call anyone out, but just you have to uphold a certain standard if you want to stick around in the program. And
It's
on
not for
top of that,
everybody.
like you can put in the work and still maybe not be good enough, which is that's just the reality though of sports, right?
Yep. All right, let's jump into the smoke. I want to start with Aiden Fisher because obviously we talk about Fish being the perfect representation of our program, just an absolute leader, somebody you want to follow. If you are in the Indiana Twitter space, then you may have seen kind of a tragic story of a man who lost his wife, um, has two kids now without a mom, and Aiden Fisher and the Indiana football team got together and sent them a whole bunch of gear, put a giant smile on the two kids' faces, and it was just a really feel good moment. It's something that obviously, like Fisher didn't tweet it out himself, like he wasn't looking for recognition, he wasn't doing it for the wrong reasons, just like out of the kindness of his heart to try and bring a little joy in a tragic moment. And so it's just like that's the person who's leading our program. That's the leading voice in our locker room. Like it's can't say enough good things about Aiden Fisher and what this Indiana football team is doing, not just on the football field, but ingraining itself as part of the community in Bloomington. So shout out to everyone involved in that. And, our, thoughts and prayers and hearts go out to the family.
Yeah, same thoughts and prayers to the family. And like I said, I echo your sentiment, Keezer. Couldn't have said it better myself. Don't have enough time in the podcast to say how highly I think of Aiden Fisher. Probably best leader in football right now. I'm trying to think of a guy who's a returning team captain and All-American in the country right now, and I'm struggling. Point blank, I'm just struggling to find it. So having that in our locker room is so key because he's a grinder, lunch pail kid, 2-star recruit, came up from James Madison and has been killing it basically since he got into campus. So
Shout out to Aiden Fisher.